Hello, and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to make water rise in After Effects. Once you have your program open, let's go New Composition and let's change this composition name to our master. And I'm going to leave my presets as they are right here, giving it a duration of 5 seconds and clicking OK. I'm then going to come down into my layers area here and I'm going to right mouse click, new and solid. And I'm going to name this as background water and I'm going to select a color for it and click OK. And immediately it's going to fill my screen up with that solid, which is perfect what we wanted right now. I'm going to then right mouse click on my layer and go mask, new mask. And you will see immediately a new border with 4 points appears. That means that our mask is active. So what I want you to do is left mouse click and highlight the top 2 points because that's what I want to use right now. So I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to click the down arrow on my keyboard and I'm going to move this down to around here. Then I'm going to select my 2 right points, moving them to the right with my keyboard, and then moving the left ones, and also selecting the bottom ones and moving them down as well. Again, making sure that my layer is still selected, I'm coming over to Effects and Presets, and I'm going to type in the word stroke. And I want to grab this one here that's under Generate Stroke, and I'm dragging and dropping that onto my layer. And immediately you'll see that this little panel pops up and you can just see a very fine line right here. Had I not moved the mask outwards here and down the bottom that we did in the previous step, it would also show this white line around here. But I don't want that. I only want that on the top layer. So I'm going to come over to my color and I'm going to change my color as well to about there and my brush size to 15. And now you can see the stroke a lot clearer. Once I have completed that, I'm going to again make sure that my layer is still selected and I'm going to come back up to Effects and Presets and I'm going to type in Turbulence or TURB. And I want to select Turbulent Displace and drag that onto my layer as well. And immediately you can see that it's created these little waves. And so now we need to animate this. So I'm coming down into my arrow down here. I'm going to drop that down, go into Effects, Turbulent Displace, making sure that my scrubber here is at frame 0. I'm coming to Evolution and I'm going to click the stopwatch tool here. This immediately creates a keyframe here for me, which is great. And now I want to grab my scrubber and go to 5 seconds. And I'm going to change my evolution to 3 and hit OK. And as you can see, it's created this really rough wave. So if I scrub back through, you'll be able to see the new wave. Now that looks okay, but it's not quite what I like. So I'm going to change the amount here to 35 and the size to 80. So let's now have a look at that. So that's a lot nicer. It's a bit smoother, which is what I want. So now that we've finished with that turbulent one, I'm going to come back up to my masks and I want to come into my mask, again making sure that my scrubber is at frame 0 and I'm going to hit on mask path, my stopwatch tool, which is going to create the first keyframe. I'm then going to go all the way to 5 seconds and I'm going to left mouse click and drag just to the top 2 points of my mask. And I'm going to click shift and the up arrow on my keyboard and I'm going to drag this upwards. And once I've done that, I'm now going to have a look at my wave. And that actually rises quite beautifully. So now that I've done that one, I want to add an extra wave in front. Now, some people would think, oh, you could just duplicate that. Yes, you could, and you could move the layer down. However, you then have to go into each little part and play around with every keyframe. So it would just be quicker for you to also just create a new solid because you also need to change the color of that solid as well. So now that we already know how to do this one, going and doing this again will be a breeze. So let's do this together. We're going to right mouse click, new solid. Let's call this our front water. And we're going to change the color to something lighter. Yep, and click OK. And then we're going to right mouse click, mask, new mask. Making sure just the top 2 points are selected. Let's bring them down to about there, which is great. And again, selecting the sides, bring that out, the side, bring it out, bring that down. And then making sure that layer is still selected, we're going to select stroke. We're going to select generate stroke and drag that onto the top. We're going to change our color. Let's use this dropper tool to make sure we get a very similar color to previously, but make it a little lighter. Okay, and increase our brush size to 15. And then we're going to come back up to our effects and type in turbulent, T-U-R-B, and select turbulent displace and pop that on top. Then we're going to come into our effects, then our turbulent displace. Come down, making sure that your scrubber again is at 0 and clicking the stopwatch to set the first keyframe. And again, coming into your amount, let's set this again at 35 and 80. And then what we want to do is we don't want this wave to be exactly the same as this one because it won't look natural. So we're going to change our evolution starting point to something slightly different. So about 120 is good for me. Then I'm going to come over to our 5 seconds and I'm going to change this to maybe a 5 and hit enter. And that has created that keyframe there. So if I have a quick little look now, I'll be able to see what type of wave I've got. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So now what we need to do is we need to come into our mask and we need to select our mask path. So again, making sure that your scrubber is at 0. Select the stopwatch to start it. Then come over to 5 seconds. Then making sure that we've only got these top 2 selected, shift pressing the up arrow. Let's bring them upwards to about there. And let's now come back to the start and let's watch our waves. And I'm quite happy with that. That actually looks really awesome. So have a play around with it. Play around with your turbulent displacements. Play around with your mask. You can add, your mask doesn't have to be rectangular. Your mask can be rounded, it can be on its angle. All you have to do is come up here into your pen tool and you just need to add extra vertexes onto it. Again, making sure that when you do that, it means you also need to add a few more keyframes. But have some fun with it, and I really hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel because there will be more in the future.